3. And when the tempter came to him, he said, If thou be the Son of the Most High, command that these stones be made bread. But he answered and said, It is written, Man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceedeth out of the mouth of the Most High.
That's right. Because we're not just going to live off it. We're going to get healed by it. Man, seriously, man. Like, let's say you're panicking. And you've got to do something. And it has to be done quick. But you're panicking and you're nervous and your hands are shaking. Call upon the name of the Lord. And guess what? A couple of angels are going to grab your hands and make them steady. You're going to make them steady and you're going to be like a surgery robot. And you know what made me think about that? I don't know if I ever told you the story, because in the art that I was training when I was younger, there's a story. There's a lot of stories. I'll tell you the one about the sword. So the master of the art, he was having a council with the Japanese, and this was about in the 17 to 1800s. And Korea was going to be invaded by Japan, and they were trying to strike a deal. So the Japanese were in a room, and they had their swords, but the order was, take his sword, take the Grandmaster's sword, so that he doesn't walk in here with the sword. That was the plan. So the Grandmaster walks in, and the guard checks him, and he said, "This is my life. I can't give you my sword. This is my life." And that was the way of the art. So he ended up doing it for Korea. That's what the story is. So he gave him the sword, gave him a short sword, gave him a little tiny one. And then they put it in a room. And then he went into the meeting, and the Japanese were like, "Okay, so you don't have your sword, now you're powerless. You're going to do everything we tell you." And you know what this Grandmaster did? He put out his hand, and the sword came flying through, bursting through the rooms. Boom! Landed on his hand, and then he said, "What? That's a real story." And you know why? Because the demons were helping him. The demons grabbed that sword and made it seem like he had the power. That's the thing you guys don't understand. That's the thing you guys don't understand. That's the real power. To be able to, like the brother said, they don't have authority over you when you're in the truth. You have authority over them.
Just like these magicians.
Exactly.
You know, all those magicians, they had demons helping them. They even tell you that on YouTube. They have like documentaries about magicians and demons and black magic, all that. They tell you, and even on what's his name, Houdini. Houdini on his he used to have pictures, and on his pictures he had demons.
Damn. Hey, that's scary.
And then even other magicians have demons on their pictures too.
Hey, but guess what? Who do we got? We got the angels, baby. And if we want, we could turn those demons against their handlers. We could turn those demons against their handlers. So, and now, let's go back to the lesson. So, but he answered and said, "It is written, man shall not live by bread alone." So we have to live by faith. These Moabites and Ammonites, they train in the martial arts by faith.
So don't live by bread alone. That means if you're not eating this word,
you ain't living.
You can't eat the real food. You know, you might as well not be eating the real food if you're not eating the word of the Lord.
So yeah, if you're not eating this bread, you're not gonna get power.
You can't live by bread alone.
That's right.
You can't just eat all you want in the world without studying these scriptures.
That's right. Because how do you think that sword got to that master's hand? He gave himself to those demons. And I remember the first couple of years were hard for me because I never gave myself to the art. They asked me, you give yourself to the art, and I was like, man, I just want to learn how to defend my family. That's what my answer was. And I never made it past the yellow belt. That's okay. I got what I wanted out of it. And I got those stories too. Hey, there's a lot of stories, man. There's a lot of them. And it's just intervention. It's just spiritual intervention. Demons intervene. Like the magicians. How do you think they do that shit?
But they got to pray to those demons, you know?
Oh yeah, that's why I couldn't handle it. 'Cause I couldn't pray to no demon.
They have to, you know, go into somewhat to enter into their little secret place and put candles.
Yeah. And I couldn't even pray to Jesus, man. Before I fought, I'd always pray to Jesus. And I never ever won my professional fights. Never. I would give it my best, fight the hardest, but I wasn't calling on the right name. And now I don't even want to train. I don't even want to fight. I don't. That's bullshit. This is a real fight.
Yeah,
this is a real fight.
Because once we came into the truth, Yahweh Shai started giving us things that
we didn't even
we started needing.
We didn't even ask for it, but He knows we needed it, and He just gave it to us.
Man, so everything from health to money to.
And health is really wealth. Health is wealth, man.
Yeah.
Because I was sick as fuck.
Health is wealth.
And when I was sick, I couldn't work.
You can't make money if you're sick.
That's and this brother was sick.
Yeah, I was sick.
Sickly, man. I think the first year of our camp, you weren't making it all the time to the camp. You were getting sick. But hey, that's what it takes. And everybody has a different path. Everybody has a different path. How do I know this? Because look at the brothers that are in the truth. We know two individuals that are in Visalia and Delano and Dinuba, and they have totally different lives than us. Totally different. Everybody has their own path, right? Because we were all led into the wilderness to be tempted.
And the apostles too were saying that the brothers in Chicago, you know, shouts out to those brothers because they have to stand. He said that in Chicago it gets like really cold.
It's cold. And then you know what makes it cold? So cold in Chicago? The wind. The wind.
Wind chill.
Wind chill. It could be like fucking 32 degrees. It's still cold. But the wind we blowing, and I see motherfuckers on TV in Chicago. And I was born in Aurora, so I live next to Chicago. It gets cold. And they're walking like this in the wind. And they're getting blown back. So yeah, shout out to those brothers in Chicago, man.
And Apostle Tara was saying that every year, you know, you get better at it because he said, you know, it's really cold, but we've been coming out every year and we've been able to withstand it because we've been learning how to deal with it.
And like the first word that we were getting into, tried. You know, we have to be tried.
Because like we dealt with this last year, you know, so we dealt with this the year before that.
And what's the primary thing you deal with when the first time you go out? Nerves. Nerves. You're scared. Man, the cops gonna come tell me something.
We don't care now.
Because why? We got better at it. We
don't live by bread alone. We live by
right.
the word of the Lord.
But by every word that proceeded out of the mouth of Yahweh. So that's the key of life.
That's how you live.
Get the next one.
Matthew 4:5. Then the devil taketh him up into the holy city and setteth him on a pinnacle of the temple.
Damn. See, so that one has a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff.
Of the holy city, you know. The devil's trying to make an example, trying to turn the holy city into something evil, you know.
So I'm gonna get the word diabolos. Strong's G1228.
And in Spanish it's diablo.
Diablos.
Diablos, yeah.
Diablo. Okay, alright, so first thing is Vine's expository dictionary. Satan, the devil. The English word is derived from the Greek, so it's Satan, Jesus. There's a lot of things in there. Okay, this is a good one. A false accuser, slanderer. So let's get the Strong's now. Diabolos, from a traducer, especially Satan. False accuser, devil, slanderer. So it has two. Devil, false accuser, slanderer. Now we're getting the biblical outline usage. Prone to slander, slanderous, accusing falsely. Man, who's a good example of that? Our president. We're gonna defeat the China virus. That's a fucking lie. Whether it was made in China or not is irrelevant.
But the biggest thing he accused is that he said that he was the Son of God,